EAFC 24 is not a good game whatsoever. Nick Run the Foot Market has already made out a video about how saying it's probably gonna die. He's right, it is. Here's the real reason why it's dying, all right? The gameplay is not good. It has not been good for multiple FIFAs. And I think just maybe because of the evolutions, people trying to play with these fun new cards, people are realizing that gameplay is and always has been the most important part of a game. We're gonna go into a game and I'm gonna show you exactly why this gameplay is not good. Just from this one singular game, I counted 33 wrong things that happened. You may say, oh, these things are very critical. Oh, you're being hypercritical. No one actually cares about these things. This is a $70 plus game made by a AAA studio. I'm going to hold it in the highest regard possible because that's what you all should be doing too. So starting off the bat, quite literally just a few seconds in, right? Attacking AI in general is not good. But look what happens off the kickoff, right? You want to tell me where my other center mids are? You want to tell me where my left and right backs are when they're on join the attack? Not moving, not moving, not moving, not moving, not moving, not moving. Finally, my center mids come up. Now watch, right? He starts to go to the goalkeeper. I'm not sure why, he just does. But because of that, my players are now in a bad spot. Why are they there? I can't get them the ball. They should be in the midfield where all of this space is. That's two things in the span of 2 minutes. Now here's this pass, right? So I get the ball to Declan Rice. Look how much power that is. That's what? Just about a bar? Maybe just over a bar? Now, of all these players with just about a bar of power, who do you think I'm trying to pass the ball to? Here's the answer. It's clearly De Jong. Obviously, with a bar of power, of course it's going to be De Jong. So do you want to tell me why it doesn't go to De Jong and just goes past? You want to tell me why, EA? Why that happens? Because it's a bad game? Because you are incompetent? Don't know how to make a good game? That's probably the answer.
Nope.
Oh, that's one tackle.
Nope. Nope.
2 tackles, 3 tackles. And I don't get the ball. Awesome. That's a 3 tackle tax. Fantastic. Back in full force. That brings up a point I want to make. Play styles in general is not a good thing. All right, it's just not. I don't know why people are excited about it. It was clearly going to lead to one of 2 things. One was going to be overpowered things, like the finesse shot. You can shoot that from 40 yards out, just green time it, and it's a goal 50% of the time. That's not good. The other thing is things like this, where you make a tackle, but because you don't have Anticipate Plus, you're not going to get it. Look, Anticipate Plus, that's good, but that's how all stand tackles should be. I timed it well. My opponent made a mistake of running into me or mistiming it. I should get the ball. I shouldn't need a little raccoon next to the player's card to tell me that I should get the ball in that situation. Now, we talked about the attacking AI in this game being awful because it is. FIFA 17's was better. We talked about it in that video, but just watch Declan Rice, right? Watch Declan Rice. He's moving right next to the opposition. He's a defensive mid, stay back while attacking. Maybe he should just go into that wide open space. That would be cool. Instead, what he does is a ghost sits next to De Jong. Look at this. He moves next to De Jong. And to anyone saying, oh, but his attack positioning, it's not that high. You shouldn't need it to be that high to go into wide open space. You shouldn't. You want to know why? FIFA 17 didn't have that, and that was 7 years ago. So because of that, I have to pass the ball around. Everything is slower. Everything is slower. Now, I get the ball with Ariza. Now, I have Son. There's all that space to run into. He should make a diagonal run and go into space. I shouldn't have to tell him to do that. But instead of what he does is just kind of just stand, not actually do anything. That's lovely. Oh, and also Declan Rice, I had to tell him to run forward into that, 1 yard of space. Because that's what a skillful player does. That's a skill gap. And again, people are probably going to say, you're being too critical. No one should actually notice that. Again, $70 game made by AAA studio. And now we're going back to bad attacking AI. So I pass the ball back, sweat it across, because of course that's exactly what you have to do. I get the ball to Son. Now here is what should be happening, right? We see Laturi making that run into space. We have Aspas, who has a good attack positioning. He's going to be right there. He should just stand still, because then I have the ball with Son. I run forward. This defender has to do one of 3 things, which is either mark me, mark Aspas, or mark Laturi. But instead what Aspas does is he runs forward. That leaves me to do only pretty much one thing, because I can't pass the ball to Aspas because he's defending that. Probably can't pass the ball to Laturi. We've seen before that passing is not good. So that leaves me with one option, and that's just a finesse shot, because that's incredibly overpowered and cheesy and stupid. I'm up 1-0 and I feel dirty about myself. Oh look, here's another thing about bad attacking AI. My left back continues to run forward for absolutely no reason. Instead, just go into space. Instead, I want to lob it up, but no, that's not good. He loses the header instead of just going into space. Genius. Now, I've already lost track of how many things that is, but it's about to get a hell of a lot worse. So he passes the ball here. I see he's trying to pass it back because he's been doing cutbacks all game. You can see my player shifting over to try to block it. But guess what? Do you think he gets the ball? No, of course not, because he doesn't have the Anticipate Plus. He doesn't have the Intercept Plus 15,000 playstyle pluses, so he can't get the ball super easily. And so his bad decision goes unpunished. My good play goes unrewarded, and he continues to have the ball. If you think it's over for this play, it's not even close. That's not the worst part. So I have Laturi, as you can tell based on the little icon. If I press L1 to switch, I'd get the Declan Rice, which is exactly what I want to do here. But here's the thing. I press L1 to switch. Why does it go to Riza? You want to tell me, EA Sports, why it goes to Riza instead of Declan Rice, who you said it was going to go to, or maybe De Jong, or maybe Arujo, or even Ledley King? It goes to quite literally the 5th choice option of who it should be going to. Why? You can even tell that I'm expecting to be switched to Rice because I take Riza completely out of position, and that allows him to score. But just wait, it's not done. There's one other thing. Watch Arujo in this situation. Why does he run away? Did you see that? Why does he run away? Now, I'm not expecting him to just be the greatest defender of all time. What I am expecting him as a left center back is to play left center back and not right back. That player that's in the left center back spot, I expect him to be there. We're going to go back to a classic here. Look at Declan Rice. See all that space to go into? You could go into it. You could go into it. You know what he does? You know what he does? Doesn't go into it. Now, I try to make a play here, and I do with Arujo. Now, look at all this space. I have all that space on the right-hand side. We have Kubo. We have the two who can run into it. Aspas is doing well. Why does Aspas go to that side? I now have 3 players being marked by 1 defender. Now we're going to have a double whammy, one for me and against me here. I get the ball to Laturi. Declan Rice, again, move forward a yard. That's what I'm expecting, but he doesn't. Here's the other thing though. His player should have had that ball. The end result is probably the right one, where Rice gets the ball. However, I'm pissed off because he's not running forward into space. My opponent is pissed off because he didn't get the interception. And that's just the epitome of FIFA right there. It's not the end result that pisses people off. It's how you get to that end result. If you concede a goal because your opponent is passing through you, even does like a Burba spin, double Burba spin, and just absolutely cooks you, sure, you're going to be annoyed because you conceded. But you're not that pissed off. You're like, damn, that was a good play. Versus if you make a tackle, goes back to him, make a tackle, goes back to him, make a tackle, goes back to him. They run down the wing. They try to pass it. You block it. They get the ball right back. They try to pass it again. Goalkeeper blocks it. It gets a rebound, and it's just a tap in for your opponent. It's the same result either way, right? You get scored on in both situations. But which one are you more upset about? All right, we're in the second half now. Nope. Make a tackle? Nope, doesn't matter. It goes back to him. I have to do a 2 tackle tax, as always, because that's a good game. Now watch what happens here. And this is, again, another AI thing, right? I have nowhere to pass the ball to, so Arujo tries to help out. He comes close. He shouldn't be running towards the opposition player. He should be running backwards. Now, here's the thing. Nothing really bad comes from this, right? We get the ball to Arujo, and we do pass it back like we want. However, keep in mind, same thing's going to happen at another point, and you're going to see why I don't want him being that close. Now, here's the thing. I'm about to score a goal here, and on paper, it looks pretty good, right? Just from the naked eye, it looks pretty good, right? I'm making these passes. He tries to send them. I do a little over the top through ball with Horan. She has a long ball plus. We get it out wide. Aspas takes a good touch. Laturi makes a good run. We slot it into him. All of his players switching looks all right, and it looks to be a good goal, right? I can't call it a good goal because I wasn't watching him the entire time. Right? I don't know about his players switching. I don't know if he got switched to the right player. I don't know if he got screwed over in a couple instances. I can't say that's a good goal, right? Maybe it was, but I can't say it was. 99% of the goals, both scored for you and against you, are not good. He's going to throw the ball out to Lewandowski, right? Why is that bad? What's the reason? What's the point of that? What's the point of making that bad, EA Sports? You're making things difficult for no reason. And I know people are going to say this, and these are the worst type of people, all right? It's realistic. Here's the thing, and here's something that those types of people do not understand. Too much realism is bad. You do not want a completely realistic game. That's not a good thing. That will result in a bad video game. You want to know why? Because it's a video game. Specifically in this case, it's an esport. Even games that are simulation-based, like Football Manager, they're not even completely realistic either. You think you can take a team from the 7th division of England all the way to the Premier League in 7 seasons like some people do? No, of course not. It's not completely realistic, even in a completely simulation-based game. And that's a good thing, because it would be hell if that was the case. If you want to talk about realism, I mean, let's make this more realistic, right? We've seen players take bets in real life and bet on themselves. Why not have that happen in foot champs, where sometimes your players act like a 40 rated bronze because they took a bet to not play as well, right? What about in Call of Duty, huh? Where if your gun jams when you shoot it? It's realistic, right? These types of people who say, oh, realistic is the most important thing, those people ruin the game. Because any type of thing to happen, any type of negative thing to happen, unless the ball goes through a player's chest like this, they will write that off and just say, oh, it's realistic, it's totally fine. It's not fine. It's not good. Now, speaking of realistic things, we're going to have a field day with this one. Look at this. Oh, I'm going. Oh, I cook them. Cook them. All right, let's keep going here, right? 2 tackle tacks. Good one to start back with. Love it. This next one has no explanation, right? Look at this. Pass the ball. Why? Like, even if there was no opposition player there, Horan's not going to get that. That's just a bad pass. Why? Why is that a bad pass? Because it's realistic. Here's more good attacking AI, right? I get the ball with Declan Rice. He starts to pass with 2 players. Laturi just goes towards the middle. That's what she should do, right? But that doesn't happen. My opponent blocks it with Modric. Now I want to switch. It says I want to switch to Ledley King. However, Rice is closer to the ball, and he's the only one to get it, right? Ledley King doesn't even attempt it because he's so far away. So why switch me to him in the first place? Now Ledley King is completely out of position. He makes a good pass over. Fair enough. Composure. Sets it down, right? Him making the pass over, passing with Lewa, scoring with Al Oberon. That part, that specific part with no other context, that's fine. I have no issue with that. However, Ledley King should not be in that situation. It should have been Declan Rice. Now Ledley King's out of position, and it leads to that. That's why I'm mad. Not because I got scored on, because of the way that I got scored on. Now this part just pisses me off, right? Look at the power, bottom left. Full power. It should go other side of the field. Nope, in fact, my opponent wins it. Why? Why not just kick it? You're telling me he doesn't have the leg strength to kick it across the field? With full power? Really? Now, we get the ball in the middle here. We're going. We make an interception. We try to lob it. Now, here's the thing, right? Boom. Hops it down. Ledley King. Now, look. Let me explain here. I get that Ledley King's not great on the ball, but watch this. Knee, chest, head, foot. Why does he take 3 touches before just having it down on the ground? For the longest time, EA Sports have been trying to be like, oh, animations, there's 5,000, there's 10,000, there's like 70,000 new animations. Here's the thing. All of them are bad. Animations are bad. They make the game slower. Why do you think the game has been slower year on year on year? One, they're trying to make it more casual so then anyone can win a game and try to get people to gamble in this game because it's a gambling simulator. The other thing, though, is because of the billions of animations that make the game slower. I don't need 50,000 new animations. I need a game to respond how I want. Instead of the ball going thigh, chest, head, then foot, it should be thigh, foot, or chest foot, or head foot, something like that. Now keep this in mind, I'm not sprinting with a Rujo, right? I get the ball, you see that touch? He makes a good touch there. So why does that happen? He turns into goddamn Sonic the Hedgehog, right? He's shielding, good touch, and then just sprints. And the goalkeeper, because similar to the center backs, they don't move to get open because, oh, it's a goalkeeper. Why would he move? It's not like goalkeepers move in real life. It's not like they're at the edge of the box or anything. And eventually, he goes and scores from this. And again, my opponent didn't do anything here. He did 71 depth. He did pressure tactics in a game that has bad attacking AI, that has overpowered defensive pressing AIs, if all of them are prime Liverpool, prime Dortmund, with Klopp managing them. Why is that a bad touch? Again, I'm not sprinting. Why have that be a bad touch? Oh, you shouldn't have passed it to the goalie. He shouldn't have been sprinting like that. I wouldn't have had that issue in the first place. It's irrelevant. I'm trying to pass the ball to Laturi so then I can press L1 to send Horan on a run, and then that way either the right back has to mark that run, or if they don't mark that run, I can pass the ball to Horan. It's almost like I'm a decent player and I'm seeing things 2-3 passes in advance because, again, it's like I'm a decent player. But because the game is so slow, it actually passes the ball to Horan instead. I'm already thinking it's going to go to Laturi, but instead it goes to Horan instead because the game is so goddamn slow. It's not like inconsistent gameplay has been an issue for 10 years, quite literally a decade, and they don't even address it, let alone know how to goddamn fix it. I mean, that's not the case. Finally, we're going to end it with something that's really annoying, right? So he gets the ball, but take a look at the time. 91st minute, 1 minute at a time. Now, the game not being stopped in the situation is fine. I'm okay with that, right? 91st minute, he's in the attacking third. That's fine. I have no issue with that whatsoever, right? So he continues on. We're going. It shouldn't be stopped yet. Not yet. Nope, not yet. Woo. I get the ball. Sorry, 2 tackle tacks, and then I get the ball. Clear it out. Boom. It's 1 minute over. Now it should be stopped. It doesn't stop. He keeps going. Bad mistake goes back to him. So, you know, that's another 2 tackle tacks. Game should be stopped. 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 And he has a penalty. 2.5 minutes after the game should have been stopped. And eventually, you know, of course, he's going to score it, right? He's celebrating like he just won the World Cup, and as if it's not quite literally 3 minutes of added time over. It's not as if I made a tackle or he made a bad pass and shouldn't have the ball. No, it's none of that, right? This was deserved. It was clearly deserved, right? It's not as if, again, the game ended 3 minutes past of added time, right? No, of course not. People are going to pawn this off as a couple of things. One, realism. We already talked about that. That's a really stupid argument. The other thing is DDA, right? Here's the thing, though. The game is so bad and so inconsistent to the point where the game switches on a game-by-game basis. It even switches in-game that you can't properly test if DDA is actually inside of the game. If we actually had good, consistent gameplay, then we could actually properly test if there was DDA. But we can't because the gameplay is so inconsistent. Now, if you enjoy the game, fine. That's good. That's a good thing. That's what you're supposed to do. You spent $70 on it. If you genuinely, sincerely enjoy the game, and I don't mean tricking yourself into thinking it, but if you actually enjoy the game, that's good. I hope you do. I want you to. I want to enjoy it, all right? But at the same time, no matter what, even if you enjoy it, even if you hate it, if you don't care, whatever, you have to recognize that it's not a good game, that it's a bad game, all right? Right? Maybe, just maybe, EA, someone makes a good game and you actually understand that this is not good. And I know people are going to be like, oh, so why do you still play it? Look, I'm making some other videos at the moment. I've made one over Janitz. I made one over the FIFA 17 whole thing, why it was one of the best games, right? I've done that. I'm still trying to make other videos, but at the same time, I want to highlight things that are bad. I'm still trying to have fun. I've made a video over Garasi, which was very fun. I might make one over Zaturi because he's been fun, but I'm still trying to highlight things that are bad because overall, it's not a good game. EA needs to acknowledge all of these bad things and patch it, but it's not going to happen because it's EA Sports.